Mr. Richard sat at the dining table across from his only son, Daniel. The room was quiet, large and empty, but the silence between them was louder than any noise. Daniel ate slowly, his eyes fixed on his phone. Mr. Richard kept watching him, searching for something in his son's face, a spark, a smile, anything. But there was nothing. After a long pause, he finally spoke. "Daniel, when will you start thinking about marriage?" Daniel didn't look up. "Not now," he said flatly. "I'm not interested." Mr. Richard sighed. "You've been saying that for years." "You're 36 now. Don't you want a family?" Daniel put the phone down and looked at him coldly. "I wanted one once. But love is not real. People pretend to care until they see what you have in your bank account." Mr. Richard knew where that bitterness came from. "You're still thinking about Sophia," he said quietly. Daniel's expression hardened. "Don't mention her name." His tone was sharp enough to cut the air. "She used me, Dad. She made me believe she loved me, then turned into someone else the moment she discovered how rich we are. I'll never trust anyone again." He stood up and walked away. "I have work to do," he said, leaving Mr. Richard alone with his thoughts. He leaned back in his chair and whispered to himself, "My son is alive, but his heart is dead." He couldn't blame Daniel completely. Sophia had broken him in ways that money could not repair. She had been beautiful, confident, and clever, the kind of woman any man would fall for. But when she realized that Daniel's father was one of the wealthiest men in the country, her love turned into greed. Every conversation became about money, cars, and status. When Daniel noticed the change, it was too late. He had already fallen deeply in love, and losing her felt like losing his soul. For years after that, Daniel avoided love completely. He focused on work, business, and success. He had money, power, and everything a man could want, except happiness. Mr. Richard watched him grow colder every day. He tried introducing him to kind women from good families, but Daniel refused to meet any of them. "They all want the same thing," he would say. "They see a rich man, not a person." That night, Mr. Richard sat alone in his study. Suddenly an idea came to him, strange but powerful. What if he could find a woman who truly loved Daniel without knowing about their wealth? What if he could prove that genuine heart still existed? But how could he do that when money followed him everywhere? He thought deeply for hours. Then he stood up slowly and said to himself, "Maybe I must stop being a billionaire to find the truth." The decision was made. He would disguise himself as a poor man, a beggar if necessary, and live among ordinary people. He would meet them, talk to them, and watch their hearts. If he found a woman with genuine kindness, he would find a way to connect her to Daniel. The next morning, before the housekeepers arrived, Mr. Richard left the mansion quietly. He wore old clothes he had kept from years ago, faded trousers, a torn shirt, and an old cap. He smiled faintly. Let's see what the world is really made of. He took a long walk toward the city center. No one recognized him. The people around were too busy with their lives to notice an old man walking with slow steps. He stopped near a small cafe. It wasn't fancy, that was when he saw Amelia. She worked behind the counter, wearing a simple uniform with her name printed on it. Her face was calm but kind. When customers complained, she apologized politely. When they thanked her, she smiled sincerely. There was something pure about her. After a while, she noticed him sitting outside, looking tired. She walked over and said, "Good morning, sir. Are you okay?" Mr. Richard looked up and replied, "I'm fine, just tired." She looked at him closely. "You haven't eaten, have you?" He hesitated. "Not yet." She nodded and went inside. A few minutes later, she returned with a small cup of tea and a sandwich. "Here," she said, "you can pay later." He stared at the food in silence. "I told you I have no money," he said. She smiled. "That's okay. Sometimes people just need help. You don't have to pay me." Her words shocked him. In a world obsessed with money, this girl gave freely. He took the tea slowly, his voice trembling slightly. "Thank you, Amelia." She looked surprised. "How did you know my name?" He pointed at her uniform and smiled faintly. "It's written there." They shared a short laugh. When she went back inside, he watched her work the rest of the morning. She never complained, even when the manager shouted. She smiled at everyone. Everything about her reminded him of the kindness his late wife once had. When the cafe closed that evening, Amelia came out with her bag. Mr. Richard was still sitting on the same spot. "You're still here," she said softly. "Do you have somewhere to go?" He shook his head. "Not really." She looked worried. "There's a small shelter 2 streets away. You can rest there tonight." He smiled gently. "You've done enough already. I'll be fine." She nodded. "Okay, take care of yourself." She waved and walked away. That night, Mr. Richard walked back home quietly, entered through the side gate, and changed his clothes before anyone noticed. When he entered the living room, Daniel was sitting on the couch, scrolling through his phone again. "Where have you been?" Daniel asked without looking up. "Out," Mr. Richard said simply. Daniel shrugged. "You've been acting strange lately." Mr. Richard smiled slightly. "Maybe I'm learning something new about people." Daniel didn't answer. He stood up and said, "Don't waste your time, Dad. Good people don't exist anymore." He walked upstairs and shut the door. Mr. Richard sat down slowly, thinking about Amelia. Her kindness, her calmness, her words, "You don't have to pay me." He whispered to himself, "Maybe you're wrong, Daniel. Maybe good people still exist. Maybe she's one of them." He decided that he would see Amelia again, and somewhere across town, Sophia sat alone, staring at her reflection in the mirror. She still thought about Daniel. She missed the gifts, the attention, the status. She clenched her jaw and whispered, "If he ever loves another woman, I'll destroy it. He was mine first, and he will be mine again." 2 days later, it was already evening. Amelia walked quickly down the road. She just closed from work. It had been a long day at the cafe. Her mind was on the bus she had to catch when suddenly she noticed a familiar figure sitting near a street corner. She slowed down. It was Mr. Richard, the old man she had served tea and bread the day before. He was sitting on a low bench. Amelia frowned and walked straight to him. "Sir," she said softly. He looked up, surprised. "Amelia?" She nodded. "Yes, it's me." "What are you doing here at this hour?" "It's too late to be outside," Mr. Richard sighed. "I have nowhere else to go," he said quietly. His voice was calm, but there was sadness behind it. Amelia looked around. The wind had picked up, and a few shops were already closing. "You can't stay out here tonight. It's dangerous, and the weather is getting cold." He shook his head. "Don't worry about me, my dear. I've slept in worse places." She folded her arms. "That's not the point. You shouldn't be alone outside at this time. Please, come with me." He hesitated. "Where would we go?" She hesitated for a moment and then said, "My place isn't much, but at least you'll be warm and safe." Mr. Richard tried to protest. "You've already done enough for me, Amelia. You gave me food. I can't let you trouble yourself more." She frowned slightly. "This is not trouble, sir. This is what people should do for one another." He smiled faintly. "You're too kind." "No," she said gently. "I'm just human." Amelia helped him stand. His legs were tired from walking all day, and his steps were slow. They took a narrow street and walked together in silence for a few minutes. The noise of the city faded as they entered a small, quiet neighborhood. They stopped in front of a small apartment block. She unlocked a wooden door and turned to him. "It's not fancy," she said, "but it's home." Inside, the room was small but clean. She motioned for him to sit. "Please, rest here." He sat down slowly, looking around. "This place is small, but it feels warm," he said. "Because I keep it that way," she replied, smiling softly. Amelia went to the kitchen and started heating some water. Mr. Richard watched quietly as she moved around. She was gentle in everything she did. After a few minutes, she brought him a cup of warm tea and a plate of rice and stew. "Here," she said, "eat something before you rest." He looked at the food and then at her. "You shouldn't have done all this." She smiled faintly. "If I were sitting outside tonight, cold and hungry, I would hope someone would do the same for me." He nodded slowly, touched by her words. "You have a rare heart, Amelia," he said quietly. "My mother used to say, 'Never close your door to kindness.' I guess I learned that from her." He began to eat, and for a while there was only the sound of the spoon against the plate. When he finished, he looked up. "Thank you," he said sincerely. It's been a long time since anyone cared like this. She waved her hand. It's nothing, sir. He smiled slightly. It's everything. They talked for a while longer, sharing small stories. Amelia told him about her life, how her parents had died when she was a teenager, how she worked at the cafe to support herself, and how she still hoped to go back to school someday. Mr. Richard listened carefully, his heart heavy. You've been through so much, he said. She shrugged. Everyone has their story, sir. Mine just taught me that life is easier when you help others. He looked at her, amazed. You don't even know me, he said. You could be putting yourself in danger. She laughed softly. You don't look dangerous, sir. You look tired. He smiled back. You're an angel, Amelia. The world needs more people like you. She shook her head. No, sir. The world just needs more people willing to care. He watched her closely. There was no pretense, no interest in what he owned, no curiosity about his past. Just genuine concern. She's the one, he thought. The one who could bring light back into my son's heart. But how could he make Daniel meet her naturally without revealing his secret? He didn't have the answer yet. All he knew was that this meeting wasn't an accident. It was fate. As he left Amelia's apartment later that morning, she followed him to the door. Where will you go today? She asked. I'll walk around, he said, see if I can find some small work to do. She nodded. Please, come by the cafe later. I'll make sure you eat something. He smiled. You really don't stop caring, do you? Someone has to, she replied. As he walked away, Mr. Richard knew exactly what he had to do next. The test had begun, and the woman he was searching for was already in his life. She just didn't know it yet. When Mr. Richard returned home, he felt lighter than he had in years. He had spent the day walking around, thinking about Amelia, replaying every word she said. He couldn't stop smiling at the memory of her kindness. As he walked into the mansion, the lights were on, and Daniel was sitting in the living room. He looked up when he saw his father. You're finally back, Daniel said. Where were you all night yesterday? I called your phone, but it was off. Mr. Richard froze for a moment, realizing he hadn't told anyone he was leaving. Oh, he said, forcing a calm smile. I was with someone. Daniel blinked. With someone? He leaned forward, a little surprised. Wait, are you saying you're seeing someone? Mr. Richard chuckled softly. Well, yes, you could say that. Daniel's eyes widened with excitement. Dad, are you serious? After all these years, he smiled for the first time in weeks. That's great. Finally, after so many years since Mum's death, you've met someone. I can't believe it. This is good news. Mr. Richard smiled, trying to play along. Don't get too excited yet, Daniel. We just met. I'm still trying to learn more about her. Daniel sat back down, grinning. So that's why you were gone all night, huh? You already spent the night at her place. Mr. Richard laughed. Daniel, you're making it sound worse than it is. It was late, and she insisted I stay because it wasn't safe outside. Daniel laughed louder. Dad, I'm proud of you. I never thought you'd move on from Mom. You've been alone for so long. This is a surprise, but a good one. Mr. Richard smiled, feeling a strange warmth in his chest. He hadn't seen his son laugh like this in years. Don't make assumptions, he said jokingly. We're just talking and getting to know each other. Daniel raised an eyebrow playfully. Talking. So what's her name? Mr. Richard hesitated and shook his head slightly. Not yet. You'll know soon enough. Let's just say she's someone different, someone who reminded me that kindness still exists. Daniel laughed. You're making it sound mysterious already. Fine, I'll wait, but at least tell me what she does. Mr. Richard smiled faintly. Patience, Daniel. When the time is right, you'll understand everything. Daniel laughed again. You just met her, but you're already spending the night at her place. That sounds serious, Dad. Mr. Richard laughed loudly. It's not what you think, Daniel. It was late, and she insisted I stay because it wasn't safe outside. Daniel shook his head, still smiling. After all these years, you finally meet someone, and now you're sleeping over already. This is unbelievable, Mr. Richard smiled. You sound just like your mother when you tease me like that. Daniel's expression softened. I miss her, he said quietly. Even after all these years, I still think about her. Mr. Richard nodded slowly. I miss her too. She was honest and kind. The world doesn't make many like her anymore. Daniel sighed. That's why I gave up on love. People aren't like her anymore. Mr. Richard looked at his son carefully. Maybe that's because you've been looking in the wrong places. Not every good woman wears luxury or lives in mansions. Sometimes the purest hearts live ordinary lives. Daniel smiled faintly. You're starting to sound poetic now, Dad. Mr. Richard laughed. Maybe I'm just speaking from experience. Daniel, still smiling. Well, I can't wait to meet her. I want to see the woman who made my father smile again. Mr. Richard's heart warmed. He hadn't seen his son this happy in years. They laughed together for a while before Daniel went upstairs. Mr. Richard stayed on the couch, smiling to himself. Even my lie brought some joy back into this house, he thought. The next day, Amelia returned home from work, tired but calm. She had spent the whole day thinking about the old man she had helped. Something about him reminded her of her late father, gentle, wise, and kind. She didn't even notice her boyfriend Jack standing at the corner of the building until he called her name sharply. Amelia. She stopped and looked up. Jack, what are you doing here? His face was tense, eyes burning with anger. He walked toward her fast. Don't jack me. I just got a call. An anonymous call. Someone told me you brought an old man into your house last night and that he slept over. Amelia blinked, confused. What are you talking about? Don't play innocent, Jack snapped. You brought some old man into your apartment. Why? What's going on? Are you that desperate? Amelia's mouth opened slightly, shocked by his tone. He was stranded, Jack. It was late. He had nowhere to go. I only helped him. Nothing else, Jack scoffed loudly. Oh, please. You think I'm that stupid? You've been ignoring me for days, and now suddenly you're helping old men. Do you think I don't see through this holy act you put on every time? You now sleep with old men. Amelia frowned. You have no right to talk to me like that. I did nothing wrong. That man is old enough to be my father. He was cold and hungry. I only gave him a place to sleep. Jack stepped closer, pointing a finger at her. You and your excuses. You keep pretending you're some saint. I've told you before, stop wasting time on poor people. You could have used that chance to talk to Chief, the man who wants you. If you did what he asked, we'd both be living well by now. Amelia looked at him with disbelief. You want me to sell my dignity for money? You want me to be like those girls who trade themselves for favors? I can't, Jack. I won't. Jack's face twisted with frustration. You're so foolish. You keep talking about respect and morality, but what has it given you? Look at you, still broke, still working in that small cafe, and now you're housing strange old men. You think you're better than everyone else, huh? She shook her head slowly. I don't think I'm better. I just choose not to do wrong. And for your information, I didn't do anything with him. You can believe whatever you want. Oh, I know exactly what to believe, Jack said bitterly. I believe you're a liar. You pretend to be pure, but you're not. You just hide it better than others. Amelia stared at him for a long moment, something inside her breaking. You know what, Jack? I've had enough. 1 year of dating you has been nothing but pain. You insult me, you use me, you even borrow my money and never return it. I'm tired. I'm done. Jack's eyes widened, anger rising. You're done. You're breaking up with me? Yes, she said firmly. You always talk about poverty as if it's a curse, but you refuse to work. You sit around complaining while others try to survive. I can't carry you anymore. You've turned love into misery. Jack clenched his fists. Don't talk to me like that. Why not? She asked. You've called me names, humiliated me in front of people, made me cry more than I ever smiled. I'm not scared of you anymore. Jack glared at her, his anger snapping completely. You think you can talk back to me? He shouted. Before she could move, his hand swung across her face, a hard slap. Jack, she shouted, you hit me? Jack's chest rose and fell fast. Maybe that will make you listen for once. Tears rolled down her face. You're a coward. A real man doesn't raise his hand on a woman. I never thought you'd go this low. He looked at her, his anger slowly turning into shame, but too proud to admit it. You pushed me, he muttered. No, she said, you hit me because you've lost control. You're angry because I won't let you use me. You're angry because I won't do what's wrong for money. You've never loved me, Jack. You only loved what I could give you. Jack looked away, clenching his fists. Keep talking like that, Amelia. You'll regret it. She wiped her tears. No, Jack. I've regretted staying with you for this long, but not anymore. This ends today. Leave and don't come back. He stared at her for a few seconds, then laughed bitterly. You'll come running back when that old man you helped disappears. You'll see how the world really works. She stood tall. If kindness makes me a fool, then I'll stay a fool. At least I can sleep at night knowing I didn't hurt anyone. Jack sneered, turned, and walked away. You'll regret this, he said again, his voice fading as he left. Amelia's heart burned even more, then she whispered to herself, It's over. I'm free. That night she couldn't sleep. She kept thinking about everything, about her choices, her struggle, her mistakes. But somehow, in the middle of her pain, she remembered the old man's gentle words from the other night. The world needs more people willing to care. She smiled faintly through her tears. Maybe that's all I can do, she whispered. Keep caring, no matter what. The next morning, Amelia was back at the cafe trying to smile through her pain. Her cheek was still a little red, though she had done her best to hide it with makeup. Her mind kept returning to the night before, Jack's shouting, the slap, and her own words when she told him it was over. It felt like a bad dream that wouldn't leave her. She was clearing a table when she saw a familiar figure standing quietly near the counter. It was the old man, Mr. Richard. He looked the same as before, in his old shirt and worn shoes, but his face carried calmness and care. She quickly wiped her hands and went to him. Papa, she said softly, using the name she had started calling him. You came again. He smiled gently. I told you I would. You look tired, my daughter. What's wrong? She tried to smile. Nothing, Papa. I'm fine. He studied her face and noticed the small bruise near her cheek. Don't lie to me, Amelia. Something happened. Tell me. She looked down, twisting the cloth in her hand. It's nothing important. Amelia, he said again, if someone has hurt you, I need to know. Tell me the truth. She stayed quiet for a long moment, then sighed. It's Jack, my boyfriend. Well, my ex now. Mr. Richard's expression changed immediately. What did he do? Her voice broke slightly. He came last night shouting that someone called him, saying I brought an old man home. He said horrible things. He called me names, said I was pretending to be holy. When I told him the truth, that you were just stranded and I helped, he didn't believe me. He said I was foolish, that I should have had fun with a wealthy man so he could have money. Mr. Richard's jaw tightened. He hit you? She nodded. It's not the first time. He looked at her with deep anger that he could barely hide. How dare he touch my precious daughter? How dare he raise his hand on you? She looked at him, surprised by his anger. Papa, it's okay. I told him it's over. I just want peace now. No, Mr. Richard said firmly, that boy will not walk free after putting his hands on you. I will mercilessly deal with him. She gave a small, sad smile. Papa, what will you do? You don't even have money. How will you deal with him? He looked at her and smiled slightly. Don't worry about that, my daughter. Just give me his address. My men will pick him up before the day ends. She blinked, confused. Your men? He nodded calmly. Yes, don't ask questions for now. Just trust me. She hesitated. Papa, please don't hurt him. I don't want revenge. I just want him to stay away from me forever. Mr. Richard smiled. That's all I will make sure of. He'll stay far from you. No one will ever hurt you again. Amelia felt a strange peace in his voice. She didn't know why she believed him so easily, but something about him made her feel safe. Okay, Papa, she said softly, if you say so. He nodded and patted her hand. Now smile. I don't want to see you sad again. You are a good girl, and good people always get their reward. She smiled faintly. Thank you, Papa. You always say things that make me feel better. He looked around the cafe and then said, Listen, this weekend I want you to visit me. She looked surprised. Visit you? Yes, he said. Come on Saturday. I want to cook for you this time. She laughed lightly. Papa, where will I visit you? You told me you were homeless. Mr. Richard chuckled softly. Ah, yes, things changed a bit. I ran into an old friend yesterday, someone I haven't seen in years. When he saw me, he insisted I move into a small guest house he owns. He said I shouldn't be suffering outside. So now I have a place to live. Amelia's face brightened. Really? That's wonderful, Papa. That friend must be a good man. God bless him for helping you. Mr. Richard smiled warmly. Yes, he's a good man indeed. She placed her hand gently on his arm. I'm happy for you, Papa. You deserve good things. He looked at her kindly. You're the one who deserves good things, my daughter. People like you make the world better. Keep doing good, no matter what happens. God sees everything. She nodded slowly. I will, Papa. Good, he said with a smile. Then it's settled. Come this weekend. I'll make something simple and we'll talk. She grinned. Okay, but let me cook instead. You've done enough walking and suffering lately. Let me do something for you. He laughed softly. All right, my daughter. If you insist, come and cook. I'll just sit and enjoy it. She laughed too. As they talked, one of the customers called Amelia from inside. She excused herself quickly. I have to go serve that table, Papa. Don't leave yet, okay? I'll wait, he said. He watched her hurry off, still smiling politely at everyone, even after what she had gone through. His chest tightened with emotion. That boy hit her. And yet she still smiles, he thought. She has more strength than most people I know. He stood up slowly, left some money on the table, more than enough to pay for his tea, walked out quietly. As soon as he was outside, he took out his phone. His voice turned firm. Find a man named Jack. Full name to follow. He's been hurting a young woman I know. I want him questioned, properly. Make sure he never bothers her again. When he hung up, he exhaled slowly. No one hurts my daughter, he muttered. After Mr. Richard made the phone call and walked away from the cafe, Amelia returned from serving a customer only to find that his seat was empty. She looked around quickly. Papa, she called softly, scanning the corner where he sat. She felt a sudden wave of worry. Maybe he went to the restroom, she whispered, glancing around, but something on the table caught her eye, a folded note. She picked it up carefully and saw her name written across it in neat handwriting. Beside it lay a small bundle of cash and another folded paper. Her heart skipped. She opened the note and read slowly, My dear Amelia, thank you for your kindness. You gave me hope when I had none. Please take this little money for your transportation. Here is house new address. She froze for a moment, staring at the cash in disbelief. It wasn't a few coins. It was several notes neatly folded together. Where did Papa get this kind of money? She whispered to herself. Few days ago he said he had nothing. She looked at the address written on the second paper. The street name sounded too elegant for a poor man to live there. Confusion filled her face. Who really is this man? She murmured. Everything about him feels different. That evening, after work, she was walking home when her phone started ringing. She looked at the screen and froze. Jack. Her heart sank. She thought of ignoring it, but finally answered. What do you want, Jack? She said quietly. His voice on the other end was unusually soft. Amelia, please, don't hang up. I just wanted to say I'm sorry. I swear I'll never bother you again. I regret everything I did. I was a fool. She frowned, surprised by his sudden change. What are you talking about? He sighed heavily. You won't believe what happened today. This afternoon 2 police cars came to my house. They said someone reported me for hitting a woman. Amelia, I thought they were going to arrest me. But they said a powerful man had only asked them to warn me. They told me to stay away from you or I'd spend time in jail. Amelia's eyes widened. Police came to your house? Yes, Jack said quickly. They told me to behave myself. I even asked who sent them, and they said one of your rich sugar daddies made the call. You see, I didn't know you had that kind of connection. I swear I was scared, but honestly, I'm happy they didn't arrest me. They said I should thank the man for sparing me. Amelia frowned. Sugar daddy? Jack continued, yes. Whoever that man is, he's not small. Those officers came in black jeeps, with radios and everything. I'm telling you, They're not ordinary police. I've learned my lesson, Amelia. I wish you good luck. I lost a good woman because of my stupidity. For a moment she didn't say anything. Her mind raced. Papa Richard, it must be him. He had told her not to worry, that his men would handle it. She had thought he was joking, but now, hearing this, she realized he was serious. Finally, she spoke calmly. Jack, listen to me. I don't have any sugar daddy. The man you're talking about is just someone I helped because he was stranded. I don't know what kind of man he really is, but I'm glad he made you understand that what you did was wrong. Jack laughed nervously. Whoever he is, I'm not coming near you again. Do you even know the kind of men that came to my house? They looked like bodyguards or security agents from the government. They warned me so seriously I couldn't even breathe. Amelia felt both relief and amazement. Good, she said softly. That's exactly what I wanted, for you to stay far away from me. I've moved on, Jack. I'm happy you finally understand. Please don't ever call me again. I won't, Jack said quickly. Trust me, I won't dare. You have powerful people behind you. I don't want trouble. Good, she said. Stay away and build your life. I forgive you, but it's over. He sighed again. I know. I just had to tell you. Goodbye, Amelia. Goodbye, Jack, she said, and hung up. Amelia stood for a while staring at her phone, trying to process everything. She whispered to herself, who exactly is Papa Richard? He said he was homeless, but now he has men, money, and even police. A small smile crossed her face. Whoever he is, he's not ordinary. God sent him to protect me. She walked home that night, lighter than she had felt in a long time. The fear she used to carry was gone. For the first time in months, she felt safe. Safe because someone cared enough to stand for her. Meanwhile, in the mansion, Mr. Richard returned home quietly. Daniel was in the living room again, watching television. You're back, Daniel said casually. You disappear a lot these days. Mr. Richard smiled. Just spending time with someone important. Daniel looked curious. That mysterious woman again? Mr. Richard smiled faintly. Maybe. Daniel laughed. You're really not going to tell me her name, are you? Mr. Richard smiled again. You'll find out soon enough. He went upstairs with a smile on his face. For the first time, his plan was starting to take shape. Amelia would visit that weekend, to a mansion she thought belonged to a friend. Daniel would be there too. And when those two hearts met, Mr. Richard hoped the walls around his son's heart would finally begin to fall. By weekend, Amelia stood inside Mr. Richard's living room, still in shock. Her eyes moved from the shining floor to the tall glass windows and the beautiful furniture. Nothing made sense. She turned to him slowly. Papa, what is going on? I don't understand. You told me you were homeless. You said you had nowhere to go, but now you're living here. Mr. Richard smiled calmly. Sit down, my daughter. She sat on the edge of the couch. He looked at her kindly. I owe you the truth. My name is Richard Cole. I'm not poor. I own this house and several businesses. The truth is, I disguised myself as a beggar because I wanted to know if good people still exist. Everyone around me lives for money, power, and lies. I needed to meet someone pure, someone who could remind me what real kindness feels like. Amelia's mouth fell open. Papa, you mean all this time you were pretending? He nodded gently. Yes. When you helped me, you didn't know who I was. You didn't care about money or power. You gave me food when you didn't have enough for yourself. You gave me a place to sleep when I didn't deserve it. That's why I respect you. You reminded me that goodness still lives in this world. She was speechless for a moment, trying to take it all in. I don't even know what to say, she whispered. He smiled. You don't have to say anything. Your actions already spoke for you. She looked around again, amazed. Papa, this house is like a palace. I'm happy you finally told me the truth, but you scared me. I thought maybe you disappeared or something happened to you. Mr. Richard chuckled softly. I'm sorry, my daughter. I didn't mean to frighten you. I wanted to surprise you and also thank you properly. She smiled shyly. You didn't have to, Papa. I didn't help you to get anything in return. He nodded with pride. That's exactly why you deserve everything good coming your way. Just then, the sound of footsteps came from behind. Amelia turned, and her eyes widened as a young, handsome man entered the living room. He looked surprised to see her there. "Ah, Daniel," Mr. Richard said, "you're back." Good timing. Daniel looked at his father curiously. "Dad, what's going on?" "Who's this?" Mr. Richard smiled. "This is Amelia, the woman I told you about." Daniel blinked. "Wait, she's the one?" "Yes," Mr. Richard said proudly. "She is the one I want you to marry. Now you both have met. I'll leave you to talk." He smiled at Amelia and quietly walked out of the room. For a few seconds, Amelia and Daniel just stared at each other. Then Daniel spoke first. "Wow. My father never told me much about you. He just said he met someone who reminded him that real kindness still exists." Amelia smiled faintly. "He never told me he had a son either. He said he was just an old man trying to find peace." Daniel laughed softly. "That sounds exactly like him. He always hides everything until the last minute." He looked at her more closely, his tone turning warm. "You're really beautiful, I must confess. I can see why he was impressed by you." Amelia blushed slightly. "Thank you," she said softly, "but please don't start teasing me." He smiled. "I'm not teasing. I'm just being honest. You've already done something even I couldn't. You made my father smile again. For that alone, you have my respect." She smiled back. "He's a good man. I'm just glad I met him." Daniel nodded slowly. "Still, I'd like us to know each other better. I mean, I know this is sudden, but can we be friends?" "Don't say no." Amelia hesitated for a moment, then smiled shyly. "All right, just friends." "Nothing more," Daniel grinned. "Just friends," he repeated. "I can live with that." They both laughed quietly, and for a moment everything felt easy. Neither of them knew that this simple friendship would soon grow into something deeper. Something that would test everything they thought they knew about love, trust, and destiny. From the hallway, Mr. Richard watched them with a quiet smile on his face. The plan worked, he thought. Now it's up to them. A month passed quickly. What started as friendship between Daniel and Amelia soon turned into something deeper. They spent time together. Daniel found himself smiling again, laughing freely, something he hadn't done in years. Amelia's kindness softened him, and her simple way of living taught him that happiness didn't depend on wealth. 2 months later, Daniel proposed. It was a quiet evening in the mansion. The lights were soft, the air warm, and Amelia thought it was just another dinner with Mr. Richard. But when Daniel went down on one knee and opened the small velvet box, her hands flew to her mouth in shock. "Amelia," he said gently, "you changed my life. I don't want to spend another day without you. Will you marry me?" Tears filled her eyes. "Yes," she whispered, trembling with joy. News of the engagement spread quickly, and soon it reached Sophia, Daniel's ex-girlfriend. She sat in her apartment staring at her phone, reading the online post again and again. Business heir Daniel Cole engaged to cafe worker Amelia Reed. Her jaw tightened. Beside her, a baby boy lay sleeping in a small crib. He was 6 months old. She stroked his tiny hand and murmured, "So, Daniel, you think you can move on and forget me? You think you can marry someone else while your own blood sleeps in my house?" Her eyes burning with anger. "I think it's time for you to face the truth. You can't ignore me forever, Daniel. You have to take responsibility." The next morning, Sophia went to Daniel's office. When she arrived, the receptionist tried to stop her. "Ma'am, you can't go in without an appointment." Sophia raised her voice sharply. "Tell him Sophia is here. He will see me." The receptionist hesitated, then picked up the phone. Within minutes, Daniel came out of his office, surprised. "Good morning, Sophia." "What are you doing here?" She smiled bitterly. "Good morning to you too, Daniel. I came to introduce you to someone." She showed him her baby. "Meet your son." Daniel froze, staring at her. "My what?" "Your son," Sophia said coldly. "He's 6 months old." "You are his father." Daniel looked shocked. "Sophia, that's impossible. I broke up with you long time ago." Sophia frowned. "Oh, really? You think you can just walk away and forget everything? You think you can leave me to suffer alone? Look at him. He looks like you." Daniel shook his head. "No, Sophia. I don't believe this. The baby doesn't look like me. Stop this drama. You're lying." Sophia's eyes became hard. I'm lying. Daniel, don't push me. I can go to the media right now. I'll tell everyone that you refuse to take care of your own child. Imagine the headlines. Billionaire's son rejects baby boy. Do you really want that? Daniel raised his voice. This is blackmail. You are wicked, Sophia. You know exactly what you're doing. She smiled coldly. I'm doing what I must to protect my son. Daniel clenched his fists. That is not my son. I will not take responsibility for a child that isn't mine. You made your choices, Sophia. Now live with them. Sophia frowned. You will regret saying that, Daniel. Enough, Daniel shouted. Get out of my office right now before I call security. Sophia's lips curled into a small smile. Oh, I'm leaving. But I'm not finished yet. Next, I'll visit your lovely fiancée and tell her everything. Let's see how long she'll stay with you after hearing about your secret child. Daniel's heart pounded fast. Don't you dare go near her, Sophia. Sophia looked him in the eye. Watch me, she said, and walked out. Daniel stood there for a moment, breathing heavily, trying to calm down. This can't be happening, he muttered. Why now? Why when everything is finally going right? He sat down at his desk, staring at the photo on his table, a picture of Amelia's hand wearing the engagement ring. Fear filled his chest. If Amelia hears this from Sophia first, he thought, she'll think I lied to her. He picked up his phone and called his father. Dad, we have a problem, he said quietly. Sophia is back. Mr. Richards' calm voice came through the line. What has she done this time? Daniel rubbed his forehead. She came to my office with a baby. She says the boy is mine. There was silence for a few seconds. Then Mr. Richards spoke. Don't panic, son. We'll handle this the right way. Amelia deserves to know, but it must come from you, not from anyone else. Daniel nodded slowly, still shaken. I'll tell her before Sophia gets to her. But even as he said it, he knew Sophia would not stop easily. Her anger ran deep, and she would do anything to destroy what he had with Amelia. Minutes later, Daniel sat alone in his office, still trying to calm his thoughts. He picked up his phone and called Amelia. She now owned a boutique she had started with Daniel's support. Her sweet voice came through the line. Hello, baby. How's work? Daniel took a deep breath. I'm fine, my love. I just wanted to hear your voice. Amelia smiled. You sound serious. Is everything okay? He hesitated for a moment, then said gently, Yes, I'm fine. I just wanted to remind you of something important. No matter what happens or what anyone says, I want you to always trust me. Many people will try to scatter what we have, but it won't work. I love you too much to let that happen. Amelia frowned slightly. Baby, what's wrong? You sound worried. Did something happen? He forced a small laugh. Nothing serious, my love. I just wanted to say it out loud, that I love you, and you must always believe me. Promise me you will. She smiled softly, still sensing something off. Of course I believe you. But tell me the truth, Daniel. Are you sure you're okay? Yes, my love, he said quietly. I'm fine. There's just something we need to talk about when you get home later. It's important, but not something to discuss over the phone. She got nervous. You're scaring me, baby. Can I come to your office now? He smiled faintly. No, my love. Don't worry. I'm okay. It's nothing serious. We'll talk later tonight, all right? Amelia sighed. Okay, if you say so. Just promise me you're really fine. I promise, he said. I'm fine. I love you, Amelia. Don't forget that, no matter what anyone says or does. I love you too. You sound so strange today, but I'll see you later. Okay, my love. Take care of yourself. I'll be waiting. He hung up the phone and sat back, staring at the ceiling. His heart was heavy. He had to find a way to tell her the truth before Sophia did. But how could he say it without breaking her heart? Sophia sat in the cab staring out the window, her face cold and angry. She had left Daniel's office hours ago, but her mind refused to rest. He thinks he can insult me and get away with it, she muttered. He thinks I'm joking. She held her baby close and whispered, Don't worry, my son, we'll get what we deserve. When the cab stopped in front of a beautiful boutique with a bright sign that read Amelia's Fashion Haven, she smiled wickedly. So this is where his precious fiancé works. She stepped out and walked inside confidently. Amelia was behind the counter when she noticed Sophia walking in with a baby. She smiled politely as she would to any customer. "Good afternoon, ma'am. How may I help you?" she asked kindly. Sophia gave her a long look from head to toe and smiled faintly. "So you're the famous Amelia," she said. Amelia looked confused. "Do I know you?" Sophia laughed coldly. "Not yet, but you'll know me soon enough. I'm Daniel's ex-girlfriend, and this little boy is his son." Amelia's smile disappeared instantly. "What did you just say?" Sophia raised her chin proudly. "You heard me right. This baby belongs to Daniel. He might have told you he loves you, but he's lying. He already has a child with me." Amelia's face went pale. "That's not possible. Daniel would never hide something like this from me." Sophia scoffed. "Believe whatever you want, but before you judge me, maybe you should ask him yourself. He refused to accept his own blood, so I came to show you the truth." Amelia's chest tightened. She wanted to disappear. "Please, can we not do this here?" she said softly. Sophia smirked. "Oh, why not? The world deserves to know who they're celebrating. Your sweet Daniel is nothing but a liar. He called me names this morning, denied his own child, and told me to get out. But guess what? I don't give up easily." Amelia's eyes filled with tears, but she held herself strong. "Please leave my shop," she said quietly. "I don't want any drama." Sophia stepped closer. "Drama? You took my man and now act like you're innocent. He loved me first, Amelia. I was there before you even knew his name. This baby is proof." Amelia looked at the child. He was small, innocent, and quiet. Her heart broke, but something inside her still refused to believe Sophia. "You're lying," she said. "You came here to hurt me because Daniel chose me." Sophia's voice rose. "Chose you? Don't make me laugh. You think a cafe girl can compete with me? Do you even know the kind of life I gave up because of him?" Amelia stood her ground. "Whatever your problem is, take it up with him, not me. I won't fight you, and I won't let you insult me." Sophia smiled coldly. "You'll see soon enough. I warned him I'd tell you, and now I have. He can't hide anymore. Enjoy your fairy tale, Amelia. It's about to end." She turned around and walked away. Amelia stood still, her heart racing. She felt weak, like the air had left the room. She slowly walked to the back of the shop, sat on a small chair, and buried her face in her hands. Her phone buzzed. It was Daniel calling. She looked at the screen, tears rolling down her face. "You wanted me to trust you," she whispered, "but what am I supposed to believe now?" Amelia stared at her phone, tears blurring her eyes. Daniel's name flashed again and again, but she couldn't bring herself to answer. Her heart was beating fast, her mind full of confusion. Everything Sophia said was echoing in her head. Daniel is a liar, Daniel has a child, Daniel denied his own blood. She wiped her face quickly, stood up, and told one of her staff to close the shop early. She walked outside, trying to breathe normally, but her hands wouldn't stop shaking. The taxi ride home felt endless. She kept asking herself, could it be true? Could Daniel really have a baby with her? She wanted to believe him, but Sophia's confidence scared her. When she got home, she threw her bag on the couch and sat quietly. An hour later, Daniel arrived at Amelia's house looking worried. The moment she opened the door, he rushed inside. "Baby, I called you so many times, you didn't pick up. I went to your boutique and your staff told me you already went home. I got scared." Amelia frowned. She didn't want to cry again. Daniel stepped closer. "Baby, please, I know you're mad at me. I know that foolish girl must have come to you. Please, my love, don't believe anything she said. I think that child is not mine." Amelia's eyes widened with anger. "You think? Daniel, you are not even sure. Please just leave me alone. You should have told me everything from the beginning." Daniel shook his head fast. "Babe, believe me, I am not responsible for that child. Could you believe I once caught Sophia with a man in her house? I caught them together. She cried, begged, and I forgave her because I was too blind and stupid. My father even warned me about her, but I never listened. Now see what she's doing." Amelia became calmer hearing that. Her voice softened. "If you are truly innocent, then go for a DNA test. If the child is yours, you will take care of him. If he's not, then we can finally have peace." Daniel nodded immediately. "Yes, my love, I'll do it. I'll do the DNA test tomorrow. I'm happy you said this. Thank you. I don't want to lose you." He held her hands, relief washing over him. For the first time that day, he could breathe. Amelia looked at him quietly. She wasn't smiling yet, but she was no longer pushing him away. Daniel whispered, "Thank you for trusting me." Amelia nodded slowly. "Just prove the truth, Daniel. That's all I want." And he promised he would. 2 days later, Sophia came again, alone, shouting Daniel's name. "Daniel, I am going to the media right now. I will disgrace you everywhere. You think you can reject me and my baby?" Daniel didn't even stand from his chair. "Sophia, calm down. You will do nothing." She stepped closer, screaming, "Watch me. I will tell everyone what kind of man you are." Daniel sighed. "I already spoke with the doctor. I'm doing a DNA test." Sophia froze for a moment. "For what?" "The baby looks like you. Everyone says he looks like you. What is the use of DNA?" Daniel stood up slowly. "Sophia, listen carefully. No DNA, no child support. I cannot lose a good woman for a child that is not mine. If you truly believe he's my son, then prove it." Sophia's face twisted with anger. "I will never do it. Never. I don't need your test." Daniel shrugged. "Then there is nothing to talk about. Leave now." Sophia frowned. "You will regret this, Daniel. You will see." She stormed out of his office, slamming the door hard behind her. Daniel sat back down, exhaling deeply. "This girl wants to destroy my life," he muttered, "but this time she won't win." Sophia went straight to the hotel where she usually met her married boyfriend. She entered the room angrily and found him sitting on the bed. He looked up and sighed. "Sophia, why is your face like this again?" She sighed. "Our plan failed. Daniel refused to accept the child. He asked for a DNA test. Can you imagine? He said without DNA he won't take any responsibility." The man shook his head slowly. "I told you this thing may not work. You know Daniel is not a fool." Sophia frowned. "But you agreed. You said if we lie that the baby is his, he will accept. Now he has rejected him. What do we do?" The man frowned. "Sophia, listen. I told you from the beginning that I am married. I don't want 2 wives. I can only take care of my child. You and I, that is nothing serious. I can't be with you like that." Sophia looked shocked. "What are you saying? You pushed me into this plan. You even said Daniel is soft and he will accept." He smirked. "Well, it didn't work. And now we must face reality. I will support you with what I can, but that is it. Don't expect marriage or some big future with me. It was never in the picture." Sophia stepped back, hurt and shaking. "So you're just using me? After everything?" He walked closer and lowered his voice. "Let me warn you, Sophia. Don't ever call my wife or mention my name to anyone. If you try to expose me, you are finished. Don't even think about telling her anything. Just focus on the child. That's the only place I come in." Sophia swallowed hard. "You're threatening me?" "I'm protecting myself," he said. "Now leave. If you want money for the baby, call me. Anything else? Forget it." Sophia walked out of the hotel room slowly, tears in her eyes. She felt completely betrayed. Daniel didn't accept the child, and now even the man she depended on was washing his hands off her. Outside the hotel, she leaned against the wall, whispering to herself, "What am I going to do now?" A week later, after Daniel and Amelia's beautiful wedding, Daniel was in his office when his phone rang. He looked at the screen and froze. It was Sophia. He almost declined the call, but something in him said he should hear what she had to say for the last time. He picked up slowly. "What do you want, Sophia?" Her voice was weak and shaky. "Daniel, I just wanted to say I'm sorry. Everything I did was wrong. I lied about the child being yours. He is not your son. I only said it because I was angry and jealous. I wanted to destroy your relationship. But it didn't work." Daniel took a deep breath. "Sophia, do you know you are wicked? You tried to destroy my home. You wanted to scatter my marriage. You almost made Amelia leave me. You lied about a child you knew was not mine." Sophia sniffed quietly. I know I am wrong. I regret everything. I'm not calling to cause more trouble. I just wanted to confess and end it. Please, forgive me." Daniel was silent for a moment, then spoke calmly. "Sophia, what you did was terrible. You behaved like a devil. But for my own peace of mind, I forgive you." She let out a small cry of relief. "Thank you, Daniel. Thank you. But listen very carefully," he added firmly. "Stay away from me. Stay away from my wife. Stay away from my family. No calls, no messages, no visits. Just go and live your life." "I will," she whispered. "I promise." "Good," Daniel said. "I wish you and your child the best. But this is the last time we will ever speak." "Goodbye, Daniel," she said quietly. "Goodbye, Sophia." He ended the call, took a deep breath, and looked around his office with relief. For the first time in a long time, his heart was calm. He took his car keys, ready to go home to Amelia, the woman he truly loved, the woman who stood by him through everything. And that is how everything ended, with truth, forgiveness, and peace. Daniel and Amelia built a happy home together. Mr. Richard finally found joy through his son's happiness, and Sophia learned that lies and jealousy only destroy the person who uses them. Now, my amazing viewers, I want to hear from you. What did you learn from this story? What part touched your heart the most? Do you think Daniel handled the situation the right way? What advice would you give someone dealing with a jealous ex? Tell me in the comments. Your opinion matters, and your lessons might help someone else too. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more emotional and powerful stories. Thank you for watching.